They were using bows and arrows, which is not something that you see typically with Bigfoots in North America or Yetis in Nepal, for example. But then she found a pair of arrow that was left in the ground by what she called X. She didn't come up with a better name. She called it species X. And if you look at the arrow, it's a very primitive. It's like Stone Age technology. It doesn't match any of the other arrows in any of the tribes in Africa. And to me, that I always found fascinating that you have something Bigfoot-like in Africa where we originated and apes originated, but it had the same qualities of Bigfoot in terms of doesn't have a language. It's covered in hair. It's primitive. It seems to have more of a culture. That's what started my idea that we can kind of trace back Bigfoot from North America through Asia all the way back to Africa. And there's a link. What's most compelling to me is the links. You start making link that makes sense, and you start thinking in terms of a real biological species.
I think if you want two really good pieces, the best evidence that actual scientists, actual biologists, actual people have broken down and can prove through frame rates, through size comparisons, locomotions, combined with eyewitness reports. One is the Patterson-Gimlin film, the one that was filmed in Bluff Creek in 1967. That has been dissected a million ways. Dr. Jeff Meldrum. There's a lot of independents that have done their breakdowns of it. And from the proportions, it can't be a man in a suit because the legs are too long, the arms are too long, and if you did an arm extension to make an arm longer, the elbow would stay in the same place. Things that don't add up with that film. Not to mention the historical of that area, of there being a lot of Bigfoot encounters, the way the thing moves, the muscle tone.
I think it's because the Patterson-Gimlin film is so clear, especially now it's been cleaned up. I saw a second generation copy, and it's, you know, I'm not going to go 100% in with it, but it's pretty impressive. You can literally see the muscles, you know, contracting and moving. So no one has been able to debunk it. I mean, there's been 7 guys that claim to be in a suit, but none of them have proven that they were in a suit, and that's like literally 7 people, so they couldn't all have been in the suit. It's an impressive, you know, piece of footage. I've never met Patterson. I've met Gimlin a couple times, you know, and he's a really affable guy, you know, and it's hard to see him lying about it. I think that if it was a hoax, he wasn't in on it. Now, Patterson's a little more complicated character, and, you know, the one thing that maybe could point towards a hoax is the fact that he had a drawing prior to having the footage that looks a whole lot like what the footage looks like. But then again, he knew what Bigfoot was supposed to look like. He's been collecting evidence for years, you know. You know, no one's ever disproven the film. No one's proven it 100%, but no one's disproven the film. And that's pretty impressive considering we get a lot of crappy fake footage all the time.
So the Patterson-Gimlin film, if you want to know what a West Coast Bigfoot looks like, a female, as a matter of fact. The other one that I've met and talked to several times, he's a great researcher, is Ron Moorhead and his Sierra Sounds. In the 70s, in a hunting camp deep in the Sierras, he recorded and he had interactions with 4 or 5 of his hunting buddies. Now, it's like you got to take horses and pack in 2 or 3 days to go to this hunting camp in the middle of nowhere, which his camp was surrounded by these creatures, these hairy bipedal creatures. Not only were they whooping and hollering and making a lot of strange noises, but they were actually talking to each other, and you could hear this garbled language. Some people call it samurai chatter because it's this very weird, it almost sounds like a foreign language.
That clip's from our film Don't Call Me Bigfoot. Watch the whole movie on Tubi TV, Roku, Fossum, Plex, Amazon, and here on YouTube. Link is in the description.